Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Safety Systems. When it comes to home or business security, be sure to talk to these folks. I've known them and used them for years. If you're like me, you want people monitoring your home. They're local people. You want local folks taking care of your equipment, monitoring your home. Safety Systems, the local solution, the #1 solution. For nearly 20 years, they do a great, great job. All right, speaking of great job, Rick Barnes last year did a tremendous job with the Tennessee basketball team. You basically got everyone but one player back, and that one player was a role player off the bench. So you can safely say they got everybody back. Because of that, ESPN had them ranked number 5 in their preseason poll that we showed you last week or 2 weeks ago. This week, 2 basketball coverers, Andy Katz, ranked them number 3, I think, in his poll, or number 4. Gary Parrish put them 3rd or 4th, so you had one at 3 and one at 4. Who's all in on this top 5 business and who's skeptical?
I'm skeptical. I'm not all in. Look, they had a marvelous season, and I asked Rick Barnes at the end of the year, and I agree with him. Just because you had great chemistry one year and most everybody's back, are you going to have a great chemistry the next year? Not necessarily. Do you have a guy that was the 6th man of the year that wants to start? I don't know. I just think that there are too many question marks. I thought they had a terrific year last year. I don't see Tennessee as being a top 5 team. I don't see a whole lot of NBA draft picks either. And usually when you're a top 5 team, you got a lot of NBA players. I think they'll have a really good team, but I don't see top 5.
I mean, they finished top 5 in the history of the program once. Is that right? Once? Is that the only time they did it? In 2007, 2008? I went back and looked, and I stopped going back once we hit the 60s. I'm like, and then it didn't do it before that. So when you're looking at more than 100 years of basketball, the odds aren't great that you're going to finish top 5. That's a hell of a lofty goal.
I'm skeptical also for the reasons Jimmy stated. However, I will say I have great respect for Gary Parrish and Andy Katz and these guys that are making these predictions. They put a lot of their reputations on the line in making these kind of predictions. But I'm like Jimmy. I think that last year was a special season, and I think they'll be really good this year.
Yeah.
But I've got to wonder how they're going to perform, being the hunted instead of the hunter. That metaphor. So they'll be good, but boy, if they're top 5 good, I'll be surprised.
I mean, they could be top 10 good. Which I think is possible.
Yeah. Exactly.
And still be top 5
That's
good.
where I'm at. I think you're probably somewhere from 12 on up. I mean, I think they're going to be a good basketball team, and I think they're talented. And I don't think you have to have magic for this to be a very good basketball team this year. But I would think 3, 4, and 5, yeah, based on the history of Tennessee, no, that's a little bit too high. But I do think you're in the next group from that.
Yeah, and if we're talking about top 5, we're essentially having a Final Four conversation. If you look to the end of the season, Tennessee's never been there. He's knocked on the door a couple of times of having a shot. But all the reasons that are being laid out do make a ton of sense. Everything that Tennessee has coming back, the chemistry they had, if they do continue that this year, it's impressive. But the SEC has improved. There's a lot that you have to go up against to try to be a top 5 team nationally.
You can technically be as good a team, as difficult for your opponents to play, and not have the same record and not have that ranking. Yeah. And then if you make a better run in the tournament, everybody rests their hat on that. Very quickly, I'll ask this to Josh. Tennessee landed 4-star big man DJ Burns. We talked about that last week. Drew Pember from Bearden, 3-star player, signs on this week. He commits for next year. Are we past the point? That's a 3-star. For a while there, we were hearing Barnes is just here to retirement. He's just here to retire. He's collecting a check when he officially retires, meaning he'd unofficially retired when he came here. Are we past all that after what he did last year, or do you still have people out there? Where are the 5-stars? Where's Kevin Durant? I don't see him coming through the door. Where do you think it is?
I think reasonable people are past that. You probably have some friends that are not, but I think the success of Grant Williams, of Jordan Bowden, of the team, Rick Barnes, I think locally and nationally as well with those rankings, I think he has earned the benefit of the doubt.
I agree with that one. All right. Football recruiting, the quarterback battle, UT's draft success, and a chance for you to win UT season tickets. That's all still to come. But next, here's another reason Tennessee might not be top 5 this year and still be just as good as they were last year. The schedule. It's a good one. And we mean that in 2 different ways. Come on back.